Node 564560 connected to node 564562.
WU7N testing.
Node 393235 connected to node 564560.
K9PQ, full quieting on your
Node
copy.
389895 connected to node 564560.
And another good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. We transmit on 70 centimeters to a repeater on Cougar Mountain and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about our group, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our internet page. There you will find a link to YouTube, where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays. Also on that internet page, you'll see the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on. And also, we'd like to thank WW7ATS 2-meter repeater for allowing us to use communications simulcast with the 2-meter repeater. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make contact before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Again, welcome back. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. So far checked in is Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma. Bob, K9PQ. Richard, K7ITX. Jim, N7QO. James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. And myself, Dave, KD7ZYM. Is anybody else wishing to check in? Hearing none, we'll get the net going. Let's start off with Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
Okay. Well, this is KD. This is KD7QKU. I'm in North Tacoma. I guess you can hear me, Dave? Hear me? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay, I guess they can hear me. Well, good evening, everybody. It's nice to see you. We have a small group tonight, but it's always good to see everybody. I see I'm thinking of what went on. Not too much goes on over here. I didn't go to the Ham Club, I guess, on Saturday. I stayed home to watch that Husky game, but that was kind of a disappointment. The Huskies got trumped. And then I had some jeans. I bought 2 new pair of jeans, and I taken them in to have them hemmed up, and I did get them back on Tuesday. I haven't tried them on yet, but they should be fine. The pants fit okay. I tried the pants on when I bought them, so I know they're okay. So anyway, and then let's see, Tuesday also, our son Ron and Sherry, his wife Sherry, they live in Plain, which is, kind of north of Leavenworth. He built a cabin over there many, many years ago. They sold their home in Des Moines, and they live in the cabin in the summer. And they have a place in Quartzsite, Arizona. And so they're going to leave Saturday to go to Quartzsite, and they wanted to see us before they left. So they came over. We had a nice visit, and then Mike and Stephanie came from out on Key Peninsula. Mike's the one that had been on the big motorcycle ride. He did get home. He rode about, I don't know if he rode 10,000 miles, but he was gone for over a month. He rode a lot. He rode a long ways. He has some stories to tell. He, when he was coming out of, oh golly, I can't say it. Is it Nomad? I can't say where the town is in Arizona where everybody goes. But anyway, he was coming out of that town, and he kind of taken a shortcut, and he went over a 7,000-foot pass, and so they had the storm had came in from California and put snow in the high Sierras, and I didn't know he was going to go that way. He knew about the storm, but he didn't think about the snow. He had been really good about checking everything out. Well, he got up there, and there was snow up there. He said he had to ride about 30 miles in snow. And that big BMW motorcycle doesn't do well in snow, and he said it was very nerve-wracking. And he said he was totally exhausted when he finally got down into Salt Lake. So anyway, so he had a few other stories to tell us. He's going to come over on Friday and show us his pictures. So he had a camera on his helmet a lot of time, and he'd taken a lot of pictures. So he's going to come over on Friday and show us the pictures. So let's see what else is going on. Yeah, Richard had mentioned the Corvette. I drive the Corvette as much as I can. I just ordered today some, stuff to put on the tires to make them look good. So I'll have that in a couple days. Ordered it from Amazon. I'm lazy. I could probably just drive over to the auto parts store and get it, maybe even get it cheaper. I don't know. It's so easy just to click on Amazon and then it'll be here the next day. Amazon is a good deal. The guys up north, they were talking about Amazon this morning, and some of them live way up there by concrete places. He said he saw 20 Amazon trucks going in the morning real early, they heading up there in the Skagit Valley to deliver to the people. He said he counted them, there was 20 of them. And he said the girl that came to his house, the truck was pretty beat up, he lives way up a road, a gravel road, and she was delivering in the dark early in the morning, and he said that they turned around and stuff, and that van was pretty dinged up. He said she was really young, he thought. But anyway, okay, I guess I'm rambling, so enough for me. So back to Net, and we'll hear what's going on in everybody else's life. KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ, out there in the Hitherland.
Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Bob, K9PQ, coming to you from Bayview State Park. This is the first time I have repeated a park. I started out at, after the local RV place in Seattle, my first place was Birch Bay, and this was my second. And now I've traveled around, and now I'm back to here again. Let's see, from where I think I was at Raysar State Park the last time we talked, and that was really nice. I liked it. That was where I, saw the salmon in the river, but I saw a couple of silvers jumping, but the rest of it were just the pinks that had been spawning and were dying, so not very interesting. But from there I went up to the North Cascades National Park to meet some friends, board gaming friends of mine. These are the friends I do gaming in the woods with, and we played some board games up there, including one outside in 45-degree weather, which I'll tell you, when I started packing away my clothing in last April, I was not planning for winter weather. So I was wearing about every stitch of clothing I brought with me to be able to play outside, because we were under a shelter, but it was open all around, just a shelter roof over the top. But it was nice. We had a nice view of the river right there while we were playing. We just did the one game outside, though. One of the guys brought a camper with a slide out. I didn't know they made slide outs for campers. It makes sense. They make them for all other things, and so that was a good place for us to go. There were 4 of us there, and with his table was the slide out, and so we fit in there nicely. And it kept us warm and dry. After they left, I did some driving around, looking at sites, and I finally decided I wanted to drive all the way up to Washington Pass, which I did, 5,744 feet, and there was snow there. There was about 1 foot to 1.5 foot of snow on the ground. They had plowed the streets, and they were bare and wet. It was like 38, 37, something like that. So no real worry about ice, and I wasn't towing the trailer. The trailer was still at our campground in the North Cascades National Park. But it was got some beautiful sights, beautiful pictures, which I was hoping to share tonight, but it didn't work out. I'll more on that later. I'm probably bumping up against my limit here, so I will send it back. This is K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks with that. Let's pick up Richard. Welcome back. K7ITX.
All right. Well, Bob, it's great to hear about your adventures and playing the board game outside in the cold, but then retiring to a camper with a slide out. And yeah, I'm starting to think I might want a camper to go on the back of my truck. I'm not sure about the weight, but I think they make smaller ones without slide outs that might work for me with my half ton, which can handle 1,000 pounds. So anyway, we'll look into that later. And other than that, I've been, crazy enough, my sleep is such that I've been going to bed at 8 o'clock and sleeping until about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I get up and take care of business on my laptop, and then I go back to bed quite often later in the morning, right about the time at 4 a.m. when my daughter is getting up to make coffee. So it's quite an interesting experience. But I am enjoying a lot of racing activity, which a big event again in Willows, California, this October 31st, November 1st through the 2nd, and Debbie's going to go with me. So with that, and she just sent me a text message that says my pills are on the table, which there's no end to those things. So with that, yeah, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. Let's go to Covington to Jim. 7QO.
And 7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, Ron, yeah, I didn't watch the Huskies game, but I watched the Mariners. That was so disappointing. We had our hopes up, but close, but not quite close enough. Oh, well, maybe next time. And the Seahawks, they won. That was a pretty sound win. And let's see, Roger, about your children, and Mike, it would, if you can, maybe catch a picture or two of pictures that he has with his bike in the snow up there. That might be interesting. I don't know if he's sliding around a whole lot on those two wheels, but yeah, I'll bet that could be rather frightening, is what I would say. And young Amazon driver. You know, the older we get, it seems to me the younger everyone else looks. when you say the Amazon driver was young, what was she? Maybe 30? You'd be surprised. At least I'm surprised frequently. It's like I had this one fellow working with me, and another colleague said, "Does that guy even shave?" And so I asked him later, and it turns out he's 35. So yeah, the older we get, the younger everyone else looks. It's I definitely have difficulty judging the ages of younger people nowadays. I'm not sure why the difference, why the problems, but I'm sure it has something to do with our age. Bob, Bayview State Park, that's great. I'm glad you got together and stayed warm and dry with your friends there. A note for you, I'm not so sure if you've been paying much attention to the weather, but the local weather guessers are saying it's going to get colder this weekend, like Friday through Monday or Tuesday anyway, with highs only in the low 50s. So to me that means like most of the day it's going to be only in the 40s. So if you have one of your propane tanks that's a little low, you might want to get it refilled before the weekend comes. A foot and a half of snow, holy cow, yeah. Better you than me. That's I don't miss the snow. Dick, glad that you are enjoying racing, and it sounds like you and Debbie will be having some fun soon. That will be good to go together. And let's see, for me, what was I doing all day today? I heard that there was supposed to be rain coming tomorrow, so I thought I would do some yard work today. I blew a whole bunch of needles out from my driveway and from the street as far as my extension cord could reach, and a little bit on my patio, so that the rain doesn't make it all a sticky mess with the needles. And the weather has since been revised. The guests are saying it's not going to rain here tomorrow, so I appreciate that. But Friday through, for sure through the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're guessing that it's going to be fairly wet where I am over here. Anyway, I'm happy that I accomplished what I did today, and now I'm worn out. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, thanks with that. Let's go to James, WU7N, and I got to get a
Okay, well, I may have jumped a gun a little bit. Sorry about that. So I'm coming in on OBS tonight. Audio seems to be pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put on some headphones here and see if I can hear myself. I hit refresh on the QSL.net stream, but then didn't. It was working fine, but okay, there I see myself. Okay, well, I guess it's kind of on and off. Well, let's see. Jim, I'm glad you accomplished a lot. That's always good to hear. Always good, very inspirational. And, well, let's see. The big thing I have to report tonight is I got a new transmitter. Didn't pay for it. Got it totally free. It came free with an LED replacement for a fluorescent bulb. All of a sudden, I was getting this huge amount of broad spectrum static during a net, and couldn't really identify where it was coming from until I turned my light off in my kitchen, and all of a sudden it stopped. But it was so loud and constant I could actually key it with the wall switch. So I don't know how far it goes, but I was listening to it on VHF, pretty loud. So I went to ChatGPT, and this is just scary. I typed in, I figured this is a pretty esoteric question, right? No. It came right back and said, okay, here's all the problems. Here's what you can do about it. Adding filters and getting amazingly specific with what filters, what capacitors, or exactly what kind of ferrites to add, actually the type of clip around ferrite and things like that. And of course then it said just try a different bulb too, or a different replacement. These were pretty inexpensive, so maybe I got what I paid for, but it doesn't seem to be consistent. Maybe they have to heat up a while or something, because I was trying to see if I demonstrated if any of you could hear it, seeing how far it was actually going. But I couldn't get it to do it. Let's see, Amazon. I wondered how Amazon handled the out in the middle of nowhere places. I know there was, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there was actually a contractor delivering mail somewhere out, I think it was in Arizona, on the back of a burro. So it shouldn't surprise me that Amazon would get everywhere. I never really thought about that before. But I would imagine that for the amount of money they must spend to get packages out to the middle of nowhere, that would be quite an engineering problem to still make a profit on that. But of course, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and they deliver to you, you're probably getting deliveries 3 or 4 times a week. So maybe it makes up for it with quantity. So Bayview State Park. Bob, you really should be blogging all these parks as you move around on YouTube or something. You're quite the expert. I don't know where Washington Pass is, but 5,000 feet, yes, I would imagine it's freezing. It's been getting pretty cold around here. So be careful. You don't have to winter up there or something. Let's see. Ron, yes, your son taking rides through a pass in the snow on a motorcycle. That's gutsy. I wouldn't do that. I guess he wasn't really planning to either. So if you can get 30 seconds of footage of him doing that, that might be kind of interesting to watch. As long as he's got back alive, it's interesting to watch. So let's see. There was... I'm back on my feet. I guess I got stung by a hornet, 10 days ago or so, and went through a lot of medical drama with that, but it seems to be healing up, and I'm walking around on my foot again. Went to physical therapy today, so back on track to recover from the car accident. So things are looking up here. With that, I'm going to turn it back to Dave, our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Looks like I just got a grayed out screen with a little rotating circle, and the timestamp is 20:20:56. So that's 4 minutes ago. I'll try refreshing before I sign off here, but it doesn't look like it's going to come back. It seems like it's, for some reason, just not coming through very well. So I'm going to turn it back to Dave. This is James W. There we get to 2024. Okay, so it briefly caught up at least to within the last minute. So this is James WU7N Northeast Bellevue. Let's turn it back to Dave, our net control.
WU7N, thanks for that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, I think Ron has the most interesting thing with his sons. One in a mountain pass with snow, and the other one deciding to go down in Arizona and find some sunshine and warmth for the winter. I think that's pretty good. And Bob playing games in the Bayview area. That sounded like a lot of fun. But at least you get 4 guys together inside a limited space. It's kind of like a space heater. You get the 4 bodies warmed up. And for Jim, sports. Oh my, sounds like you had a great time doing different games and stuff watching that. But I will agree with you that the aging process is you start watching college football. It's my gosh, it looks like high school kids, and the cheerleaders also at the same age. So anyway, the aging process does make younger people look much younger. And James with some QRM to get it rid of, and it looks like the internet came through with flying colors with some responses with that. So anyway, as for me, let's see, this week I got my physical out of the way. I passed that. I guess I'm good for at least 24 more hours. Who knows? There's no warranty with these bodies, but I was glad I passed it, and it was encouraging. Keep going in the same direction, so I'm looking for that. And then I did have a chimney replaced in my house. Oh my, the mortar had become rather stressed after 75 years in the house that I'm in. So they had to take down the old chimney and then rebuild it all back up to the top. And so it now has a new liner in it that comes off of the furnace to get rid of the gas fumes, and then also an open area for a fireplace. But I have gas logs in the fireplace, so everything should be fine with that. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about carbon building up inside the stack, so to speak, and having a fire hazard. So anyway, and James, glad to hear that you're doing better. It's always great to have that done. And so for today, I've got domestic chores out of the way. Went to Costco and got their famous chili. And so I'm going to be having chili during this wet weather in the next couple of days. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'll get another ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. That's WW7 ATS 2-meter repeater for simulcasting audio. So with that, let's go up to the top to Rod, KD7 QKU.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dave. Good evening to the group again. KD7QKU here in North Tacoma. Well, Bob, I think you were probably in Colonial Creek Campground. I'm not sure, but I used to go there quite a bit when my boys were young, and we had friends that had a boy, and Ron, their father, it was, his name was Ron and my name was Ron. So anyway, he had a 12-foot aluminum boat, and we did, and we'd go fishing up there and stay for 3 or 4 days. We had lots of fun. And good to see snow, I guess. I like snow, really, when you don't have to go to work in it. I always went hunting in it and everything. So last night, at this time it was 48 degrees, and it was 52 degrees here a minute ago, but now I see it's jumped up to 53. So it's warming up out. It's good that you're feeling better, James. I'm glad that you mentioned your foot. I didn't realize you had an injured foot, I guess, but I know you got in a little car accident or something.
Time
so
out.
anyway, I'm glad you're doing well. And Jim doing yard work. Yeah, there's never any end to yard work. We have a whole bunch of crows here and raccoons, and they tear up people's yards. I thought I had been spared. The raccoons haven't been in my yard because I have a fence, but the crows, I guess, got in my yard by the gate and they tore up a bunch of grass. I was considering going out and raking it up today. They tear the pieces of sod right up. not as bad as the raccoons. And then I was thinking maybe I'd put in some grass seed, but I think it's almost too cold now for grass to sprout, so I suppose I'll have to wait till spring. Let's see what else. So we were talking about Amazon, and I read, and maybe you guys can verify this, that Amazon's going to build some small, I don't want to say portable nuclear reactors, but they're going to be like prefabricated nuclear reactors, and they will sell them all over the world, I guess. And so now, you know, so many of these factories and these artificial intelligence places need so much electricity that they need to provide their own electricity. And so apparently Amazon is going to, in the near future, they're in the process of trying to figure out how to build a small nuclear reactor that would, you know, supply enough electricity for a manufacturing plant, or, you know, a small town or something. And then they will sell them, I guess, all over the world if they can come up with a feasible plan, and it'll work there. At least that's what I read. I don't know if any of you guys have heard anything about that, but it almost sounds like there's a need for it, so maybe they'll do it. Yeah, with my son Mike and his motorcycle, this is a big BMW motorcycle. You know, I mean, I don't know how much it weighs. It must weigh 800 or 900 pounds, and then of course he got a whole bunch of gear on it. He did not want to get into the snow, and he did not expect snow, so he was totally surprised. But it was too far to ride back, and so, you know, he pushed on. But he said it was terrible, and going downhill was really bad. But anyway, he made it, and didn't wreck his bike or anything. My other son, Ron, he loves to fish, and he has a 16-foot aluminum boat, and he just bought a new electric trolling motor to put on the front. The motor is remote controlled, and it has GPS in it, so you can set a course and a speed and everything, and it'll just maintain it automatically. Hands-free, you know, hands-free operation. I think he has like a remote control, a little key fob or something that he operates it with, but he can sit down the back of the boat and have the motor up front, and you can, you know, and it'll, if you want to stop, it'll hold position even if the wind's blowing. You know, the GPS, the motor will speed up or slow down or turn or whatever it has to do, and it'll keep you right on that spot. And then it'll do just about anything. You know, it'll repeat a course if you want to troll and you want to go up and then turn around and come back. He said it was a little bit expensive, but you know, you only go through life once, so he said he splurged and he got a really nice front trolling motor for his boat. He had a trolling motor on the front of his boat, but it was old. The boat is old, and so he got it in it. So he was all thrilled about that. So I guess that's about all I have to talk about this time. Anyway, so I'll turn it back. KD7ZYM in the group, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks with that. Let's move to Bayview Park and go to Bob, K9PQ.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Well, let's see. Boy, a number of things, some wild things I'm hearing. Amazon building prefab nuclear reactors. I wonder with Prime, can I get 2-day delivery on that? That would be sure nice. And crows tearing up sod. So I've had crows around different places I've lived, but I never really had them, getting involved with the lawn as I can remember, and certainly tearing up sod. That was surprising to hear. So, yeah, the snow. I am a big fan of snow. I just think it should stay in the mountains where it belongs. I'm quite happy if it's not down wherever I'm living at the moment, which at the moment is Bayview State Park. Yeah, so just to sort of recap on the travel. Somebody mentioned Skagit Valley, Amazon delivering into Skagit Valley, and I saw a number of trucks. So the first place I went, Racehorse State Park. If you know Skagit Valley, it's Highway 20. It's the North Cascades Highway. It starts around Cedro Woolley, and then Racehorse before you get to Concrete, and then you go past Concrete. And I actually saw Colonial Creek Campground, but that's not where I stayed on. I stayed at another creek called Goodell Creek Campground, which is right by New Halem. And that was where I was staying. So New Halem is quite a ways up already, but it was still another hour's drive to get to the pass from there. And Washington Pass is it is the pass. There's Rainy Pass, but Washington Pass is the real high pass going across the Cascades on the North Cascades Highway, Highway 20. So yeah, 5,744 feet. It was very high, and as I say, it was like upper 30s, so not bad, and no wind, thank goodness. So it really wasn't bad at all. The sun was out. I got some beautiful pictures. Well, let's see, what else have I got? James stung by a hornet. Man, that's just terrible. I mean, I haven't been stung in many years. I don't know how bad it would affect me, but I'm glad you're doing better. And yeah, the LED bulbs, I got lucky there. I replaced every bulb, and I thought about it before I did it, but I decided I wanted to replace every bulb when I moved into my condo 15 years ago or whenever it was, with LED, and I was glad I did. It never caused a problem for my radio, and it was a lot less electricity usage. I think I had something else here. Oh, the chimney. Dave, I think there's a chimney antenna mount in your future. Now that you have a brand new chimney, it should be plenty strong to put a chimney mount antenna on there. I did that at my place in Seattle. It worked really, really well. So back down here at Bayview. So if you come out the Skagit Valley, go past Cedar and then continue on to the west like you're going to Anacortes, this is kind of on the way. It's a little past I-5, but not quite to Anacortes is where I am at Bayview. And I'm not worried about freezing weather here. It's one reason I picked it. It's right close to the salt water, so it keeps it a moderate temperature. We are supposed to get rain for the next few days, and maybe a little colder, but nothing. I don't think we're getting down into the 30s. But yeah, I think the highs are going to stay low to mid 50s, something like that. But it's okay. I can deal with that. I've got electricity here, which I didn't have at Goodell Creek. I had to rely on my propane, but here I've got electricity, so I've got a little space heater in my trailer. I'm staying nice and toasty warm, and don't have to worry about running out of propane. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for me for this round. I'll send it back. This is K9PQ. Back to net control.
K9PQ, thanks for that. We'll get another idea here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the WW7 ATS 2-meter repeater 147.08 with a tone of 103.5 for our simulcast audio for the television net. So let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
All right. Well, good deal, Dave, on the new chimney. And I like Bob's idea about putting a antenna on it. I've never had the courage to do that at my place, and now that I'm kind of laid up, I can't even think about it. So yeah, I'm talking to you guys from the Northwest Kidney Center here in Kent, Washington, up off, if you know where, oh gosh, what do we call that road that goes by? Oh dear. Anyway, I'm up on the East Hill, and real close to where I live, so I've just got less than an hour to go before I get to go home, and I'll be all squared away, and looking forward to getting home and maybe having a cup of coffee, and I'm started watching a series, a PBS series called Poldark, 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 and Debbie got me started on it, and it looks like this is something that's going to keep me busy down the road. So with that, send it back to Net Control, K7ITX.
K7ITX, thanks with that. And let's pick up Jim again, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Jim, a new transmitter. Yeah, I have read about LEDs potentially being a problem. I guess the problem is essentially the power supply in the bulb itself. I've never had a problem with one, so I couldn't help you out on that, but it's good that ChatGPT is briefed on it. And your foot is doing better. That's good. And now you're back to recovering from your auto accident. I feel for you, buddy. Hang in there. It'll get better. Just takes time. Dave, yeah, some ball players look like kids. I agree with that. Yes. Wow. And for that matter, even the cheerleaders. Yeah, they kind of look like they're in high school or something sometimes. At least that's the way it seems. Costco chili, yummy. I keep looking for that at my Costco. I saw some one time, and I didn't get it at the time. I don't remember why. Maybe it's because we were going to be out of town for a while, and I didn't have room in my freezer. But anyway, it's on my list of things to check whenever I go to Costco. And the doctor, yeah. I saw a doctor on Monday. That took up half the day. And then I see another doctor next week. I don't remember which day. And then I've got another doctor appointment in November. And then I have to make another doctor appointment in December. Doctors. Well, having said that, I'd rather go to a doctor than a dentist. Ron, I have not heard about the small nuclear reactors. That's I think there is a need for that. I'm not so sure that the people who own power companies would agree with that, the utility companies, but Amazon, interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on that. That could be a solution to some of what all is going on. They want you to not make it cool in your house during the summer because there's not enough power, and they don't want you to charge your cars except during the night because there's not enough power. someone needs a solution, and that may be a one potential fix. And your boat on autopilot. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never heard of an autopilot like that for a boat. That sounds like it's pretty good. And kind of valuable, too, I would add. Bob, electric space heater, that makes me feel better that you've got that. And then you've got a propane tank for a backup in case the electricity goes out at the park. That does make me feel a little better. And I'm sure it's probably making you feel better, too. And that was a good suggestion to Dave, chimney mount. I do not have any sort of brick chimney at my house. They're all just a metal pipe. If I did have one, I would certainly put some sort of antenna on it. Depending upon how robust the chimney was, I might put a bigger antenna, but otherwise it might be just a small vertical. But that's a nice place to mount stuff. Dick, dialysis again. Yeah, I know exactly where you are on, I think it's Central is the name of the street.
5, 6, 4,
yeah,
5,
thank you for
6,
participating in this. Sorry you have to go through that, but hang in there. Thanks for talking to us, buddy. And back to you, Dave, KD7ZYM N7QO.
N7QO, thanks with that. And again, a quick ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. Let's go to James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
$19, $20. Okay, WU7N here, Whiskey Uniform 7 November. It took about 19 seconds from the time I started the app on this phone to the time I heard my own voice over the receiver. Boom, right now it says 204840. And this time I've got a call sign and I have got a picture, so that's good. Well, Richard, I hope you're feeling better soon. Wow, you're kind of, I guess, I wonder if they want to run 24 hours a day, because it seems like it's almost 9 o'clock at night and you'll be done in an hour. I'm glad that that it's worth it and it's working and it sounds like you're doing okay. And I forgot to mention, Dave, yes, chimneys, sturdy chimneys are a good thing in the Pacific Northwest. Not only do they hold up antennas, but they don't come down in earthquakes, so I'm glad you got that fixed. Oddly, when I look at my phone, it cuts the hair off. But when I look at my own picture on the low latency stream, I not only can see all of my hair, but also see the top of the ceiling as well. So if I turn it like this, we'll see in a second here if it also flips. I'm guessing that it will flip. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody's participation tonight. I really enjoy the chance to experiment. I was just given a couple of computers, and I've got to refurb them and see if what version of Windows they'll run. My old computer was telling me it couldn't recognize the power supply anymore, and then it sort of came back to life, but I'm going to take that as a hint that it's not long for this world. But anyway, I still got the phone here, and this seems to be working pretty well. As long as the audio is coming through okay. So I'll get an audio report from Dave when I turn the mic back to him. And it looks like we got about 9 minutes left, so let's do that. Let's turn the microphone back to Dave, our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. And
WU7N, thanks with that. Your audio and video was looking great. So anyway, you have a good accomplishment. But here I got weather of 54 degrees and mostly cloudy outside. So anyway, I guess I won't be looking for northern lights tonight with the weather changing over, being kind of cloudy. And, you know, talking about nuke power with small power plants, Bill Gates had advocated that to power his the upcoming AI power that's needed for all of that to take place. And he was advocating bringing back old power supplies that are atomic powered, but also he was talking about a small portable unit, not a portable unit, but it would be a unit that would be constructed at the site and then give power for everything going on there. So that's about it from there. So I'm going to move it back up to Ron, KD7 QKU. Ron, what say you?
KD7 QKU, the mic's yours.
But about the Amazon building small nuclear reactors that can be sold all over the country or world or wherever. I don't know how they would cool them. I don't know what they're going to do. They didn't get any details on it. It just said they were exploring the possibility and they were going to try to do it. And those people, all of them seem to have so much money that they can afford to do all these things. But yeah, no, I think it would be a good deal. I can remember Norris, some of you guys didn't know Norris, he was in our DATV group many years ago. He always said they had a little nuclear thing that they put in a satellite. And he always said he would love to have one of those to have at his house so he could have his own tower. He was quite a guy. He built a, electric Volkswagen. He'd taken the engine out of the Volkswagen, and I think he might have put either a forklift electric motor or he put a landing gear from an airplane electric motor. But anyway, he lived in Tukwillow and he worked at SeaTac Airport, and so he had an electric Volkswagen that he could drive back and forth to work that he built himself. Really nice guy. He's the guy that got me started in ATV. They were a really nice bunch of people. I found out that they were having, breakfast at Factoria. They used to meet at Factoria, so I'd taken myself down there, kind of introduced myself to them. I heard them on the radio, and I found out they were a nice bunch of guys. And the next thing I know, Norris is calling me up and saying he was going to come over to my house and set everything up at my house and see if it would work. And he came over, and lo and behold, it worked. And so I think he loaned me, I think it was him that loaned me the transmitter and receiver and everything before I bought my own. Either that or it was, I can't remember, Bill that lived in Kirkland. Was it Bill? I can't remember. I'm sorry, you guys. My memory isn't so good anymore either, but there was a good bunch of guys. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Dave. I'm trying to see how much time is left here. But anyway, I babbled enough, so this will be 73, you guys, and I enjoyed seeing you, and nice to get together on the net. Maybe next time Carlos and Wade will be back. So KD7QKU back to Dave and KD7ZYM.
KD7QKU, thanks with that. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Well, thanks, Dave. Ron, you got me trying to remember who the fellow in Kirkland is as well. I remember him well, but on his name. And, of course, Bill was in Seattle by Green Lake. And Norris I remember well, too. Really fun, interesting guy. Norris was the only person I know that had a big dish antenna in a room in his upstairs of his house. It was pretty cool. Well, let's see. I did want to talk about my current sort of technical situation. I did start OBS tonight, and I even created a slideshow. I was pretty excited about showing off some slides from my trip. But apparently, I was also trying to monitor it, and it was not coming through very well from what I was monitoring. And Dave said he was having trouble as well hearing me. So I switched to just Echolink. But, it's pretty amazing because my little phone is doing everything. Everything is going through the cell phone towers. It's a hotspot for my laptop, which is running Discord, and that was running OBS and also the video output. And all of that was funneling through my phone. So it was trying to do a whole lot, and it was just a little too much. But I'm going to keep trying. Maybe we'll find the magic, way of getting this all working. Maybe what I have to do is just, not try to look at the output, because I turned that off anyway because I just didn't want to have too many things going at once. But yeah, it's great to hear everybody. Let's see if I have any notes. Snow. Nope, nothing new from the last time that I can see. Richard, I did want to say I'm glad to hear you're involved in the racing, and yeah, I also that was a tough one with the Mariners losing Game 7. They had been in the lead, and then I think they just dropped the ball, no pun intended, on changing pitchers, and man, that was so close to getting to the World Series. Still not yet, though. We'll see maybe next year. Okay, I think that'll do it. Wow, it's almost 9. Okay, I'll send it back to Net Control. This is K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks with that. And we got to bring the net to a close. This is the Western
Washington Amateur Television Society.
Broadcasting and digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. Also, we simulcast on WW7ATS 2-meter repeater for our voice channels during our nets. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, signing off the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.
Node 3895895 disconnected. Node 3932350 disconnected.